Hey, free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So this is just gonna be a very quick update for you guys. So today is the first day of the Miracle Challenge event, and don't worry too much about the rankings in my opinion, right? Because the top 10%, they just get a name card and that's about it. It's just like a showy thing. You can live without it, okay? So what matters more, in my opinion, is just going to be the SSMs over here. Apart from that, I mean, yeah, some other things are of course really nice to have. But apart from that, nothing else is going to affect you all that much. The name card doesn't even do shit. So anyway, a few of you guys, right, just a very small handful of you guys have been asking me like, what's my pay to win team for Chronos? And obviously this came a lot from the rest of my comments as well. So some of my comments actually gave me some great insight on how this super fast, like 40 seconds team work using Gaia. So let's take a look at it before I explain how it works later on. Now do take note that we are currently doing Chronos 15. We're not doing Chronos 16 because it gives us a little bit more points per stamina used. So that's why I'm doing 15. And do take note that this team, it works super well for K15, but it doesn't really work very well for K16 for me, okay, just personally for me, because I feel like my win rate isn't like perfectly like at like 100%, or at least even like 80%. So what you can see over here is, we clean the first wave like so, and here, Liling is going to use his AoE attack because he used his second skill in the first wave, so this always happens. And here Gaius cleans up. Just like that. And what you notice is obviously we are using Q, and he's very important for two reasons. The first wave is really important, and this wave as well. So he links the boss with one of the towers here, and this is where when Gaius transforms, he's going to knock off a lot of HP, right? Oh my god, it's like 40% HP gone just like that. There's obviously a few ways to build this team. You do not need to use Liling. I've seen some players use Sander and it works perfectly fine. And what you notice is that our Q, he actually tanked the coffin attack, right? So let's check this out one more time. The Q tanked the coffin attack, and that's very important, or at least depending on who's using this team, who's building this team, they may have Q tank the boss, they may have Dahlia tank the boss, it really depends. For me, I'm just going to use Q to tank the boss because Q is after all just an Esper that I will only use for this one specific fight, I think. So he links up, which allows Lin Xiao to just explode the enemies on the left and the right, and then Liling can clean up the first wave with his second skill, so that Liling conserves his third skill for the second wave here. And that allows Gaius to clean up a little bit better because we do not have attack buffs here after all. So Gaius needs the attack buff to clean up the entire second wave. And without attack buffs, he will need a little bit of help from Liling. So that's why that's why I needed Liling to use his third skill on the second wave. Speaking is hard. So just like that, right? So he took the hit, Q took the hit, so he went into his stun phase, which then allows us to do a little bit more DPS. So it's pretty fast, but like I said, for K16, it's not super reliable all the time. And the reason is because the boss hits a little bit harder and his tankiness is a little bit stronger as well. So we're going to go in order, starting with our Liling here. So here are his stats, right? So he has a decent damage over here, decent crit damage, but full crit rate. That's really important, right? Full crit rate for consistency. You don't really need all that much speed, I think. But I understand that the Chronos boss has like, I think 150 speed or something like that, so it's pretty high. So you might need a little bit of speed after all. And that's about it. So he's just here for the AoE damage, no big deal. And obviously the attack buff as well, right? Let's not forget about that. And next is going to be the Ultra Pay to Win Gaius over here. So these are his stats. His stats are quite premium. Okay, so I actually reduced his speed a little bit if you actually follow the stats of my Gaius. But now he's dealing a lot more damage as well. But honestly, you don't really need all these stats. This is just a bit of an overkill. And here's the next Ultra Pay to Win as per Lin Xiao. So it's very important, it's very important that you give her as much accuracy as you can. And the thing is, because she's only stuck at 72, in terms of her resonance, I've decided to give her this, right? So that gives her an additional 6% accuracy on the boss wave, which almost sets her at 80% accuracy, which is good enough. So just decent attack, decent crit damage, and I think that's about it. Just make her like maybe significantly faster than the rest of your other Espers, and that should be fine, or rather the rest of your DPS Espers, right? Let her take the first turn to land the defense break, which is super important, especially for the boss wave. And here we have Suhua, so her stats are pretty straightforward, right? Just good speed and maybe a little bit of accuracy if you want to reduce the attack of the boss. But apart from that, honestly just go for a little bit of speed, and honestly all that HP is not that necessary as well. And finally, we are going to talk about Q here. So he's going to run second in my team, so that Suhua goes first, followed by Q, followed by Lin Xiao. And the thing is, he does not need accuracy at all, right? As you can see, 0% accuracy, and that's because his third skill, the Link over here, it does not require accuracy because it's a silver rimmed debuff. So another important thing is possibly the resonance. And I mean, this is basically the only reason why this team works perfectly well. And that's because of this resonance over here, self-sacrifice. When attacking, consumes 5% of your own max HP and deals true damage. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The second part is not important. The first part is super important. The fact that you consume 5% of your max HP means that he is the only Esper in the team who has lost HP, and that would allow Chronos to attack Q. That would allow Chronos to prioritize Q as the main target. Because if we take a look at the Chronos strategy, right, this skill here, Earthshaker, which is the coffin attack, channels all of Chronos' energy into an attack against all enemies, then launches a severe strike against the enemy with the least health percentage and inflicts stun for 1 turn. So how this works is actually, it takes note of who has the least health percentage before actually throwing the coffin or before even landing the first hit. That's why Q is always going to be prioritized. So let's take a look at this again. We just happen to jump in onto the first wave here of the last run. So AoE attack. And here comes the single target damage. And here Liling drops an AoE, which allows Gaius to have a better chance of cleaving. Yeah, so there you go. And then now the third wave. Here comes the Link. Right, here comes a defense break as well on both sides, which is super important because when Gaius uses AoE attack, he's going to deal more damage to the follower on the right. And that also does more true damage onto the boss because of the Link. And okay, so sometimes Chronos doesn't use his third skill, but that's perfectly fine because his first skill is not that hard hitting, right? It's not going to kill your run at all. And yeah, that's basically it, isn't it? 44 seconds. Okay, so it's okay, it's decent. So the win rate is pretty good. I have not actually lost once at all. So I'm doing K15 for the time being, and it does seem like the drop rates kind of suck a little bit. But I think this is just one of the poorer runs that I've had. Because some of the 10 runs that I've done, I do get more than 10 6-star relics sometimes. But anyway, that would be it for this more pay-to-win but faster team. And it definitely works for K16. You just need to figure out how your stats can be shifted around and just make sure that your Q is slightly tankier. And that's basically it. Because in K16, the boss can actually deal upwards of 40,000 damage onto your Q, which is part of the reason why some people use this effect, this self-sacrifice effect on their Dahlia instead, because Dahlia is a flow type and therefore there is a good chance that the boss is not going to kill your Dahlia in one hit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Shit man, I hit my elbow.